Hey guys, it's me Crystal from Marching North, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Macrame Moon Dreamcatcher. For this project, you'll need a metal crescent moon shape, as well as some 4mm black twisted cotton macrame rope. You'll find links to all the supplies in the description, and there's also a link to the written version of this tutorial below. Start by attaching the 9 pieces of 45-inch rope to the end side of the crescent shape using cow hitch knots. Then take the cords and wrap them around again to make a half-hitch knot on each side. Scoot the 45-inch ropes over to the left and then attach 7 of the 63-inch ropes the same way on the right side. You'll have 16 cords all together. Grab the first rope on the left and tie a double half-hitch knot around the edge of the frame and pull it pretty tight. Then, using that same cord and the next 3 cords, tie a square knot. Do the same thing on the other side, but in reverse. Then tie a row of square knots all the way across with the remaining cords. For the next row, grab the farthest to the left cord and tie another double half-hitch knot around the frame and pull it tight. Repeat that with the next cord. Now do that same process on the other side. Tie another row of square knots with the remaining cords, alternating from the first row. For the third row, skip the first 4 cords and the last 4 cords and just tie another row of alternating square knots. Now attach the 2 left cords to the frame using a double half-hitch knot and pull it tight. Do the same thing on the right side. Tie another row of alternating square knots, skipping the first 2 and last 2 cords. Then tie another row of alternating square knots, this time skipping the first 4 and last 4 cords. Repeat this process for 2 more rows, each time skipping 2 extra cords at the beginning and the end. Now move all the cords behind the frame and we're going to attach all the ends to the frame with double half-hitch knots. Start on the left with your double half-hitch knots and pull each one tight to stretch the piece to the frame. Then once you do 2 on this side, move over to the right and do 2 double half-hitch knots on that side. Repeat this process with all the loose ends until they're all attached to the frame. Now we're going to trim down the short pieces that are on the left. Originally, I had planned to put fringe on the top of the Dreamcatcher, but I changed my mind later, so just ignore all that fringe hanging off. Flip the Dreamcatcher so the long cords are at the bottom and use lark's head knots to attach 14 of the 63-inch cords to the frame in the gaps between the knots. Find the center 4 cords and tie a square knot. Tie 2 more square knots going to the left. Then tie 2 more square knots to the right of the center knot. Later, I decided to add an extra row of square knots on both sides, so if you want to go ahead and tie 7 square knots in the first row instead of 5, go for it. You'll see me add the extra knots in here in a bit. Now tie a row of alternating square knots underneath the first row. Repeat that process down for each row until you only have 1 square knot to tie. And here I am adding the extra square knots that I was telling you about. When all is said and done, you'll have 7 rows of alternating square knots. Grab the 3rd and 4th cord in on both sides, pull them into the center, and tie a square knot. Using lark's head knots, attach 14 pieces of 63-inch rope on either side of the square knot. You'll have 28 pieces altogether. Starting on the far left side, tie a row of double half-hitch knots down the left to the center, and then repeat that process on the right side to the center. Tie one last double half-hitch knot using the left cord as the filler cord. Now we're going to make the feathers. Grab the 2 front center cords and 2 pieces of 8-inch rope. Fold each piece in half and place one in front of the center cords with the loop facing left and the other behind the center cords with the loop facing right. Thread the ends of each piece through the loops and pull it tight around the center cords. Repeat that for the next 2 pieces, except put the left-facing loop on the back of the center cords and the right-facing loop on the front. Alternate back and forth for each set of short ropes. Once you've done that 10 times, tie an overhand knot at the bottom to hold the fringe in place. Trim off the excess rope from the center cords. Make 2 more feathers about an inch higher up using the 13th and 14th ropes from the side as the center cords. At this point, I gave the fringe at the bottom a V-shaped trim. Cut yours however long you prefer. Now it's time to untwist all of the fringe on the feathers. Grab your wire bristle pet brush and give it all a good brushing. I added some of the stiffening spray to help it hold its shape. Once you get them all brushed out, it's time to give them a haircut. This part takes forever. Cut it in the shape you want, then rebrush it, and then recut it, and then brush it again, and cut it again. This takes a while. They look really cool when you're done though. Now to deal with the fringe around the top. At first I planned to brush it out, but it ended up looking like it had a mohawk and I didn't really like it. So instead I cut it really short and I glued it down around the frame to the back. I used hot glue because it dries fast, but be careful, I did burn my fingers a few times. Once I had the ends hot glued down, I went back over them with some tacky glue to make sure there weren't any random pieces poking out once it dried. Now we're going to wrap the last piece of 63-inch long cord around the edge. Use a crochet hook here in this top corner to help get it through. Wrap the rope around the frame between all of the knots, making sure to cover up all the ends and the exposed parts of the frame. Once you've wrapped all the way down to the fringe, thread the end of the rope under the last wrap to secure it. I just left the long end and let it blend in with the rest of the fringe. Then glue down the end of the rope on the back of the frame in the corner where you began wrapping. For a little extra added texture, I did go through and untwist some of the long pieces of fringe. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more crafty tutorials and DIYs. Thanks for watching!